for black women, you don't have to leave the country, although you can. I'm going to talk about that and what I did. But you can also just move to a blue state. America's very big, and I just want to go for, when it comes to racism and racial issues, I have always moved, right? I'm a Pisces, I'm a fish, so I just go with the flow. Like, you're not about to disrespect me. I'm going to always go where I appreciate it. You don't get my shine unless you treat me right. And so I've always strategically lived and moved to blue states. You don't have to leave the country to find better locations here. So I hear like black women leave the country posts coming about, and I actually agree with that, because I actually sold my house back in I started in November and it sold in May, so it took 6 months on the market to sell, 3 bids, whatever. And when I sold that, I bought a small condo right outside of DC in Maryland, and I bought a 2-bedroom apartment in France, all within 3 months. But I sold the house out of the cash. A lot of you guys have homes. What are you doing? I mean, I was in Virginia when I came here to Maryland. Maryland's a blue state. We just agreed for abortion or smamortion or whatever to be codified in the Constitution. We agreed to that. Texas and Missouri, they're about to start telling you women you can't move across state lines, nor can you get a divorce. If y'all are still out, sell. If you're in the South, sell it to them. Sell your land in the South. Try to get as much money and sell. I'm in Maryland. You don't need to be in the big cities here. You have suburbs. You have country towns. New York has suburbs. It has country if you need that. Colorado has suburbs. It has country if you don't want to live in the city. Illinois, I'm sure, has beautiful state parks and suburbs. You don't have to live in the city. Michigan, like all these places, you don't have to stay where you're being treated disrespectfully. Get as much money as you can. And I saw another commenter say, we've worked, we have education, we have resources, we have talent, we have skills, we have capacities. In the place where I'm moving to, I'm about to apply for a business visa. I could do a regular visitor visa, but I'm going to do a business visa. I have so many skill sets. I was like, which skill set? Am I going to do it with my real estate investing skill set, a business around that? Will I do a business about my psychic gifts and abilities and being a seer? Or will I do it around my teaching? I had 3 different skills that I could make a business out of in order to get a long-term visa. Now, I am someone who always moved to where it's easier. I'm just not going to put up with disrespect. A lot of black women do. Like I said, I don't know if it's good or bad. Sometimes I look back and I was like, Spirit guides, was I supposed to stay in that racist environment? Because I am very intelligent. I know how to get things done. I know how to solve problems. Was I supposed to be like that next engineer? Because how was that going to happen when they were treating me like this? I wasn't going to fight against people treating me with microaggressions or racism. And I never get an answer. And I'm like, bro, was I supposed to put up with that in order for the world to see sort of the genius I have? Because no. I don't even get, for me, it's not even an option. I was in certain parts of Vegas and I moved to better parts of Vegas when I lived there. I was in certain parts of Virginia. I moved to the black part of Virginia. FYI, if you're going to live anywhere, whenever there is an HBCU, historical black college and university, the city is usually thriving. So if you don't want to say leave your town, move to where there's an HBCU, a suburb. Those places are always really amazing places for everyone, not just black people, because we're amazing. And when we have the level of education and class and a funnel, we just have the most thriving cities in America. So you could move to blue states. You could move to, if you don't want to leave Alabama, at least if there's an HBCU, move to that. Drown it out, vote with your feet. Stop. I don't get my southern brothers and sisters. I get it because you have land, but some of y'all don't have land. Y'all just have family. And not even, not even functional families. Give it to them. Unless you're happy. It sounds like you guys make a way to just avoid Caucasian people. But the way they be treating y'all, oof, couldn't be me, but maybe y'all okay with it. But, and I'm not saying that in a mean, disrespectful way. Like, my whole thing is to, like, never stay in a place where I'm being disrespected. And I don't see where I'm wrong with that. Like, I will never, there's always an opportunity out, right? So I will never stay. So when I see this going on, I'm like, okay, y'all still there. I guess there's Southern culture and other things. Okay, whatever. Stay in the South. But moving strategically for your safety and health and peace of mind and stress is a thing. Being here in Maryland, when I went to the voting station, I saw well-groomed, educated, working, affluent, I'm in Prince George's County, black people, right? I moved to a place that has the highest, most educated, most affluent black people in the country. And I didn't even pay a lot for that, right? Outside the most powerful city in the world. Like, you can be where everyone reflects you. Now, there's good and bad things about that. But, I love it. We just don't have, like, stupid conflicts that you have when you're the only person of, black person in a sea full of Caucasianness, right? So, yeah. So the thing is, I'm like, leave the country. You can. And I'm doing it. And I suggest we have enough. Do it as a visitor. Whatever. Sell it. So I'm going to do a workshop on like being retired early at 40 because my whole thing is you only have to work for 10 years before retirement. 5 to 10 years. And some of you guys have enough resources. If you strategically use them and tapped into them, you can move now. So I'll post a link to that eventually on that at my Etsy shop. But you don't have to move to... oh yeah, and I'm a real estate investor who focuses on minority neighborhoods and black neighborhoods. So like I'm always going to be attracted, like the HBCU thing is something that I've noticed, right? Just in being in this field for 15 years. Blue states, something that I noticed. Like, you just understand the demographics of different regions and states and politics on impacts on the economy. So yeah, if you can, especially if you don't have anything, it's one thing. I know a lot of black people in the South who are like, I have 40 acres of land. This is our land. It's been in our family. I get that. Like, you're tied to the land, and it's been in your family, and it is wealth or whatever. But if you ain't got nothing, why are you still down there? Like, why put up with it? Unless you're happy, right? But those states are just so bare bones and corrupt. So you don't have to just move out of the country, although you can. You don't have to. You can just move to blue states. There is an insulation. What I go through if you live in New York or if you live in New Maryland or Connecticut, we're not going through the same thing as red states. We're just not. They're not doing no fault divorce here. They're not going to make it so I can't move across state lines if I'm pregnant. Why are you in states with men that would do that to you? Why wouldn't you move? We see the direction this is going in. Like, with Roe versus Wade and 64,000 rape victims having to, 8-year-old, 12-year-olds having to give birth to their rapist child. And now they're talking about no birth control and can't go across state lines to get medical history, so you can't. Why would you stay there? You don't gotta leave the country, although you can. Sell everything, move to Mexico. It's sort of freeing selling everything. I like being late now. One of my jobs now is just all the stuff that I moved from my house to this 1-bedroom condo. It's just selling stuff. That's literally a full-time job, selling on Facebook Marketplace. But I'm hearing, let's push the 4B movement. Let's push sex strike. Let's push don't buy anything from the economy. I know I buy from Amazon or secondhand because I live a simple life. But, I can really push the secondhand. I sell on secondhand, so I can buy on secondhand. Yeah, you don't have to leave the country, but I would make moves. They're very clear where they're going.